Now, many of us have seagull horror stories, from having our chips nicked at the seaside to being dive-bombed by adult birds protecting their young. But scientists say seagulls should be seen not as pests, but as clever, adaptable birds which are being forced into cities by the loss of their natural spaces. Here's our environment correspondent, Helen Briggs.
Seagulls showing off their flying skills on a winter's day. They may be a common sight near the coast, but hit by bird flu and the loss of wild spaces, some populations are in trouble.
I don't think people realise numbers, especially of our breeding gulls, have been declining. Perhaps they don't take so much notice of them and realise that numbers have been dropping off, because they're quite a visual species, aren't they? You know, they're in our towns and parks and urban areas, and we've become quite familiar with them.
3 common gulls and 26 black-headed gulls there.
In January, hundreds of volunteers took part in the first national survey of winter gulls in 20 years to get a better picture of the 6 main species that spend the winter here.
We're looking at sort of tides dropping and the gulls are starting to gather. So we've got a lot of black-headed gulls here, a few common gulls and some herring gulls. And the idea of today's exercise is to count them coming in, to census, look at population change.
But not everyone's a fan of seagulls. Some species, such as the herring gull, are notorious for raiding bins and stealing food. And here in Brighton, people have mixed views.
People are very unkind and cruel to seagulls. They throw stones at them.
Hate them.
Why do you hate them?
Yeah, the other day I ate a donut and they just stole it right out of my hand.
They love a donut. I know you can't walk around with food in your hand. That's the only problem with the seagulls. But other than that, no, they're cushy.
But this scientist says seagulls aren't the problem, it's us.
To think of an animal as a pest is a negative mindset. If we think of them as intelligent creatures thriving in an environment that we've forced upon them, then that should give us a more respectful outlook on herring gull behaviour.
The data from the survey will be used to draw up new conservation plans for seagulls, with the hope we can learn to live better alongside each other. Helen Briggs, BBC News on the South Coast.